Good afternoon, and thank you for having me today. In this section, we are looking at critical thinking, creativity and critical thinking in leadership. Creativity and critical thinking in leadership. Um, if you look at this very first slide, you will see that we have two pictures, one on the left, the other one on the right. The one on the left is trying to show something unthinkable. A man is trying to cross from one end to the other and is doing something unthinkable. That's creativity. Whereas critical thinking will help to analyze those ideas uh, that are on ground. And that is uh, what creativity and critical thinking in leadership is all about. Well, by way of introduction, we know that modern leadership requires innovation and sound decision making because of we are in a global community where things are changing almost every day, and therefore leaders who want to be above board must be very effective. um, they need the skills of critical thinking and creativity to be able to navigate the um, globalization ocean. So, our creativity generates new ideas and solutions, while critical thinking helps to evaluate those ideas and support rational decisions. So, both of these skills are very important for leaders who want to be effective. If we look at this diagram, we'll see that effective leadership requires creativity and critical thinking. Creativity is on my left, critical thinking is on the right. While creativity generates ideas through innovation, new strategies, flexibility, and imagination, critical thinking helps to analyze with logical reasoning, risk assessment, and then um, make informed decision. Um, Looking at this, we can see on the left that diagram. Creativity is about just anything, everything, different ideas, both useful and not useful. All of them are coming in order for us to solve this problem. So people are suggesting different things. So creativity as a concept, therefore, has ability to generate new, original, and useful ideas. It helps us to generate those ones. Then it encourages innovation and strategic improvements in an organization. And there helps organization achieve goals effectively. Um, what are the characteristics? They are numerous. And if you see that diagram, you see a lot of characteristics of a leader who is creative, excellence, open-minded, um, they are effective, promote teamwork, and so on. They don't only think about the past, they also think about the future, so of the organization. That's creativity. So a creative leader has open-minded, who wants new ideas, is willing to take calculated risk. I mean, calculated risk, not just any risk. They are curious and willing to learn. They don't think that they have arrived. So they know that learning continues from birth to death. And so they want to learn. They are flexible and adaptable. They have ability to see opportunities even in danger, even in problems. They are not the leaders that always complain. It can't work. It's not possible. It's not feasible. Leaders, creative leaders don't have the attitude of I can't, but they have the attitude of we can. They don't have the attitude of we cannot. Let me tell you, as a leader, if you say you cannot, your followers have 1 million reasons why that thing is not possible. If you say that we can, your followers also have a lot of reasons why it is achievable. So all depends on you and uh, depends on how creative you are and how you can think critically to bring people together. Importance of creativity, it promotes innovation and growth. The organization will be having innovations and will be growing. It helps solve complex problems that seem so complex, while others are wallowing in the problem. Then the organization is able to come above them. Um, COVID-19 came and has led to the end of so many organizations. Many organizations are still struggling to survive COVID-19 till now. Yet some uh, they have been able to make it even despite COVID-19. They were able to solve complex problems. They improves response to change. It improves response to change. So we can improve our response to change because we are already prepared. We are expecting that there will be change, whether positive or negative, and we are prepared for it. So we swiftly creative leaders is able to initiate change to a response to some changes in the environment, in the organization, in the even in the country. It encourages teamwork and idea sharing because you cannot do creative thinking in isolation. It has to be in teamwork and idea sharing. Then it enhances competitiveness. So concept of critical thinking. Let's look at it. It's a logical analysis and evaluation of information. So ideas are there. You are now trying to do their logical analysis and evaluate them. It supports evidence-based decision making. Um, so evidence-based decision making. Because you are not basing your decisions on hearsay, but you do a critical analysis and evaluation and you have evidence before you make decisions. It encourages questioning. You question assumptions. You don't take information dogmatically. You criticize. You ask when they tell you what. You ask the question why. You ask the question how. You ask the question when, and so on and so forth. So that is the attributes of critical thinking. So let's look at the components. It involves analysis, you analyze, you evaluate, you reason logically, you interpret, you generate, and then infer and making decision. So these are the components of critical thinking. So you analyze, evaluate, interpret, reason, then make your decision. What are the importance of critical thinking? It improves decision quality. The decision we are making will be of high quality because we have looked at pros and cons before we arrive at them. It's not just coming um, um, just like that. It's not coming just at a prompt. So it reduces risk and mistakes because you would have considered all this. It supports strategic planning, even for the future for the organization. You're able to plan for the future, enhances organizational performance. So let's look at the relationship between creativity and critical thinking. On my right hand side is creative thinking. On the left hand side is critical thinking. Why creative thinking generates critical thinking analyze? Why creative thinking is divergent? Because a lot of ideas are coming and it's taking all of them, diverse views. Uh, Critical thinking helps to converge them and make the best decision. Creative thinking is lateral, while critical thinking is vertical. Creative thinking is possibility. So not sure yet which one we work, but um, is possibility. This one is possible, that one is possible. But critical thinking is probability because it's trying to eliminate those ones that may not work. That is, it's not, it doesn't rest on all those suggestions, but it's try to analyze them. Creative thinking suspend judgment because it's just taking the ideas as they come, whereas critical thinking is judgmental because it tries to look at the pros and cons and eliminate whichever. Creative thinking is diffused, so many. Uh, Critical thinking is focused. Creative thinking is subjective, while critical thinking is objective. Um, Creative thinking is an answer. Not sure yet. It's just one of the answer, an answer. Whereas critical thinking is the answer. So because it has eliminated all the uh, ones that are not feasible and then zero in on one. Um, Scientists say creative thinking will use our right brain while the left brain is used for the critical thinking. Because you ask why, you ask questions, you raise issues. You don't assume that it will work. So then creative thinking is visual, critical thinking is verbal. Creative thinking is associative, whereas critical thinking is linear. Creative thinking is um, richness and novelty, whereas critical thinking is reasoning. Um, Also, creative thinking is yes and just taking everything, whereas critical thinking is yes, but. So if we look at the diagram on the right hand side, you see somebody trying to fix like both and north. We are trying to put the round peg in the round hole. So that is the relationship between creative thinking, critical thinking. Creative thinking has all the ideas. Critical thinking is trying to help to fix the appropriate idea. So, therefore, the relationship, creative thinking, creativity generates idea and possibilities. Critical thinking evaluates and refines ideas. Effective leaders, they strive to develop both skills every day. And so, what are the roles of creativity and critical thinking in leadership? Problem solving through innovation, innovative and logical solutions. Like we said, creativity brings innovation, critical thinking brings logical solutions. Decision making by evaluating multiple alternatives. You have a lot of alternatives and then make decisions. Strategic planning for future opportunities and challenges. This we already mentioned. Encouraging teamwork and participation. So, uh, looking at this slide, what are the barriers to effective thinking? You see the picture on the left-hand side. There is a big gulf between two surfaces. Critical thinking, I mean, creativity um, sees possibility, whereas a leaders without creative thinking thinks that, oh, after all, there is a gulf. There is no way we can cross to the other side. No way. Nothing. Um, so there is nothing we can do because there are problems. That is what leaders without creative thinking. That is what they say. But a creative thinker who knows that there are problems, but knows that these problems are surmountable. We can cross this. We can cross to the other side. We can make it. And that is why creative thinking is very good. And these barriers of not seeing possibility is can affect effective thinking. If you see the barriers to critical thinking, you see we have wrong assumptions. When you have wrong assumptions about issues, oh, this thing is not possible, it's not feasible, it cannot happen. We're told that those who made a aeroplane, they made it several times, and some scientists were even mocking them. How is it possible that you will create something like a vehicle that will be flying without a surface to rest? How possible is that? So they were making jest of them, but eventually, with a lot of effort, they were able to do it. So um, also personal biases can affect emotional barriers. Then um, when leaders are afraid to make decisions, when you are afraid to make decisions, you are already preparing to fail because you won't take any step. So then, overload of information can also affect creative thinking, um, especially for those who are not emotionally balanced. And environmental barriers. People who have seen, they've seen examples of those who fail. And those are the examples they will be citing. Those are the examples of what will be coming to their mind. Somebody took that same decision and failed. So company A took that decision and failed. Whereas they don't see those companies that took the decision and passed and made it. And they don't even assess why are those companies failing. So if somebody that made the ball was tired at the 10th attempt, we will not have something like the Bob today. If he was tired or at the 500 attempts, um, we won't have what we call Bob today, or even 1,000. We were told that at 1,001 times, that was when he got it. So therefore, he learned how not to make it in 1,000 times, but learned how to make it in only one time. So that's it. So creative thinkers and critical thinkers, they don't look at environment. I mean, they do environments don't create barriers for them. Yes, there may be failure. Yes, some problems may be there, but these problems are not insurmountable. Of course, as leaders, you are not employed to complain. You are employed to provide solution. The employer knows that there are problems, and that's why he needs people to solve it. So you cannot go back to the employer and say there are problems. There are reasons we cannot do it. Why are you employed? So that is the essence. You can see in the book of Proverbs 22, verse 13, that I quoted here, and 26, 13 to 15. The Bible says that the slothful um, uh, says there is lion on the street, and so he refused to go out, whereas others are going out to the street, the same street where he's saying there are lions are, and they are making it. So, yes, lions are those problems, but a creative and critical thinker will go out, will still be outside and know how to tame the lion so that they can be successful in whatever things they are doing. So, therefore, let me summarize the barriers to effective thinking this way: fear of failure, resistance to change, restrictive organizational policy can also cause it when there are strict rules like bureaucratic bottleneck. It can affect effective thinking. Routine dependency. Here, if we look at the private sector and the organizations in the public sectors, you see that organizations in the private sectors always make it better than organizations in the public sector, because organizations in the public sector, they are dependent on the windfall from above. And so, because of that dependency, nobody thinks outside the box. But the private sector organizations knows that whatever they get, they must work for it. Therefore, they must think outside the box. So, dependency, when you are always dependency, as church leaders, you're always depending on the windfall from above. You're always depending as secular, in the secular sector, as leaders in your organization, you're always depending, look up to um, people above you for solution. No, that's not a creative and critical thinker. Poor communication can also hinder. Limited exposure to um, limited exposure can also cause the problem when um, the leader is not well exposed, then it can also affect critical thinking. Developing creativity in leadership. You have to encourage brainstorming, to encourage creativity. You must support experimentation. You can experiment with those ideas that are coming from brainstorming. You need to promote collaboration. So, then learn from diverse experiences. You may even need to collaborate with organizations outside your own, people outside your organization to get solution to specific problems. So you must learn from diverse experiences and create open environments where everybody can contribute. Be flexible in your thinking. Then you'll be able to develop creativity or creative thinking. How do you develop critical thinking? You must ask questions. Ask questions. Analytical questions. Don't be dogmatic. Evaluate multiple information sources. Practice problem solving and encourage feedback. Listen for feedback. So encourage feedback. Reflect on the past. Even when you have been making it in the past, you must reflect on why are we making it. A creative leader or a critical thinker will not say that the organization has arrived because you are making it. You must know that tomorrow a change can occur that will make you lose out of the market. Therefore, you must always reflect, what have we done well? What have we not done well? That things that we have done well, there is always room for improvement. How can we improve it? In what ways can we improve it? Then we must use those ones that we have not done well. What can we do to change the situation? So we must use evidence-based decision making when we do all this. So that's um, practical applications in leadership now for creative thinking and critical thinking. It's developing innovative strategies. We must develop innovative strategies. What strategies do we use to bring innovations into our organizational procedure, practices, and so on? Solving organizational problems, we must manage change successfully. That is, it helps us to manage change successfully. Then we're able to improve team productivity because we are making informed decisions. So, um, benefits of combining both skills. One, it improves decision making. We can see from all our discussion, it increases innovation and adaptability. There is stronger organizational performance, enhanced team engagement, and better management of changes. We are able to manage change better because we are well prepared. We are not surprised that changes are coming. We are prepared for both positive and negative changes in our environment. So uh, we are able to navigate our way through. So let's look at this illustration, broken school bus. A school bus suddenly uh, breaks down. This school bus was transporting students in a remote area and it suddenly breaks down without expectation. The driver, who is the leader, must ensure the students arrive safely and on time. So, how can he use creativeness and critical thinking around this scenario? Creatively, the driver need to consider alternative transportation options within that locality. What are the alternative transportation options? Um, he need to contact the local transport operators who can help. Then You need to organize safe and temporary waiting arrangement for the students. Where would they wait that is safe while we are waiting for the fastest and possible uh, uh, alternative? So that is creativity application into this scenario. Talking of critical thinking now, the driver will assess the safety risk of all the different options that are available. Is it commercial transporters, private transporters? Does he need to maybe reach out to the traditional leader in that community and so on? He evaluates available transportation options and he selects the safest and fastest solution. So, what lesson can we learn here is that creativity helps generate options, while critical thinking helps select the best option. Um, Moving on to practical industry example, look at Steve Jobs in Apple. Before Steve Jobs returns as CEO to Apple, the company was facing a lot of declining in the performances and they are losing market rapidly. So therefore, they needed innovative products that are very innovative to survive and regain the market leadership. What did Steve Jobs did? How did he apply creative thinking? He encouraged design thinking and user-friendly products development. Encourage the employees to begin to think out of the box. Design some products that are user-friendly, which Apple can also venture into. So they came up with smartphone, tablets, and even music devices. He promoted creative collaboration among the employees. How did he use critical thinking? Um, Job simplified product lines by eliminating less successful products. Products that seemed not less successful, he eliminated them. And he concentrated resources on high quality and high demand innovations. Then decisions were based strongly on the understanding of customer needs and technological potentials. So these are the things that Steve Jobs did. And what was the outcome? Apple became one of the most valuable technology companies globally, and they were able to revolutionize the industry. So today, Apple products are more costly, but they are more durable and they still have the market. So that is the way Steve Jobs applied critical thinking and creativity and critical thinking uh, to help Apple to be uh, uh, to survive the problem. So maybe we'll discuss these issues after this presentation. How did creativity influence product development in Apple? What critical decisions help Apple regain success? And what leadership lessons can be learned from this? So we'll all consider this immediately after the presentation. Now let's look at this leadership challenge. We are going to divide ourselves into groups, three groups. Each group will take one of these problem scenario and then apply creativity and critical thinking to select best option. One, a company losing customers. Group A will take that. A team experiencing conflict. Another group will take that. And a school facing declining academic performance. So another group will take that. And what are the tasks? You generate creative solutions to the problem. Not just one, different ideas that comes. Then you will evaluate each solution using critical thinking. Then you will select the best option and make presentation. So in conclusion, creativity and critical thinking are essential leadership skills. Both improve problem solving and decision making. Successful leaders or the leaders who wants to be successful, they continuously develop these two skills because they are indispensable for any leader. My final words: don't wait for things to happen, make things happen. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you for listening.